So, Naughty Dog dropped two big announcements the other day at PlayStation Experience, and those announcements are the Uncharted 4 single player DLC known as The Lost Legacy, which is also going to be a standalone experience, and the Uncharted, The Last of Us, The Last of Us Part 2. Yeah, they announced two things Uncharted 4 single player DLC and The Last of Us. Wow, this is great. This is going to be great. But here's what's even better. I'm going to start talking about the Uncharted 4 DLC. Guess who the main protagonist is going to be? Guess who? You guys probably already seen it, so you guys already know it. Chloe. And guess who she's paired up with? Nadine. Out of all people, Nadine. Man, this is going to be interesting as hell. Because let's be honest, we haven't seen Chloe since Uncharted 2. Now, it's been a while since I played Uncharted 2, but I think Uncharted 2 is probably one of the better games out of the series, probably the best game out of the series. And then I would probably have to say Uncharted 2, Uncharted 4, Uncharted 1, and Uncharted 3. That's just personal opinion. But basically, Nadine is going to be pairing up with Chloe, and it's interesting how the way it started. To not give too many details if you guys haven't watched it, it kind of starts off in like this in this completely different area, and it's supposed to take place shortly after the main game the story is complete. But what I'm curious is, based off of the main game, I mean, I'm sure they'll dive into more details about it, but I'm sure that the main game and where it completes is before the end of the epilogue in Uncharted 4. I'm not going to spoil anything if you guys haven't played it, but what there is there's the ending and then there's the epilogue ending to it. I'm sure that it's going to be in between the epilogue ending and the game. But here's what makes it kind of fascinating. I could definitely see Chloe and Nadine teaming up. It's one of those things where it's like hindsight. You don't think about it too much, but you're like, that'd be nice to see them a couple. I think they'd be a really great couple. They'd be a great team. They both have the same kind of similar personality traits that I think would match. And what do you know? They're the ones teaming up. But it's got me thinking, in terms of the story, how is that going to connect? Like, I wonder if anything regarding Nathan Drake's even going to be brought up. I wonder if Nathan Drake's even going to be a part of this story. And it would be interesting to see if there is any crossover, because, as you see, if you play the main story, you know Nadine does not like Nathan Drake at all. Like, she's got this kind of, I don't want to say she's as evil as, what's the other guy's name? The guy that you battled at the end. I don't know why the name escapes me when I do the video, but it's kind of funny. Like, you think of the name off video, it's going to click to me eventually. But the other guy that you're fighting in the fighting at the end of the game, she's nowhere near as evil as that guy, and nowhere near as an asshole. But she's kind of like this person playing both sides in a way similar to Chloe. Now, Chloe, I always saw Chloe as kind of the snake a little bit. She's kind of a snake, but she's kind of not. She's the double agent. She's playing both sides. Because I remember in the situation with Uncharted 2, she's dealing with Harry, and then she's dealing with you, and she's like, what does she choose? She's forced to play both sides because she doesn't want to get killed. And it seems like, based off of the trailer of what we got from this, she's kind of doing the same thing, because she's... The fascinating thing about Chloe is very observant. She's very protective, and she kind of knows what to do to stay alive. And you can see that at the end of the gameplay trailer. She says, "Relax. You'll survive longer, or you'll stay alive longer." So I want to definitely see what her relationship with Nadine's gonna be like, because I can imagine if Nathan Drake gets into the conversation as well, that's going to not end pretty well. But it might. It will be funny. But let's talk about The Last of Us. The Last of Us Part 2 trailer. The Last of Us Part 2 trailer, people are saying Last of Us didn't need a sequel. And to some extent, I understand. Last of Us was a complete great game on its own. but it's definitely warranted to continue the story because you invest so much into the characters, such as in Joel and Ellie, and it is 5 years into, or 5 years later than where the first game ended off of. So Ellie is now 19 years old, and you can see she's playing the guitar and singing songs about murdering and killing every last one of them, kind of thing. And then there's a body right next to her, and she's dripping blood all over her face. You guys have to see the trailer if you haven't. But the first impression that I got from this is that this game is going to be dark as fuck. It's going to be darker than the first. I mean, that's not to say the first game was dark, but this game is going to be fucking dark. Like, Ellie is... Ellie was never that character who's, oh, she's such a sweetheart. She's such a good character because she was raised up in this environment of the post-apocalyptic environment where everybody's fighting for survival. So she's not going to be that, but she's that badass character. And it seems like she may end up being the playable protagonist. We saw that in Uncharted. Not Uncharted. I want to say Uncharted, but I got them too confused. But in the first Last of Us, she was the protagonist for part of the story. And it's going to be interesting because the first game focused around love, while the second part is going to kind of focus on hatred. And I think it's going to be about hatred and getting revenge off of what lies Joel had told her in the first game, if I remember correctly. So it's set 5 years after the first game. Ellie is now a 19-year-old girl who is the players will primarily control. Who the people she wants to kill are unknown at this present. The details of the game are thin at best. So according to Druckmann, the video was intended to be shown next year during E3 2017, but the team wanted to show fans that it had planned for the sequel. Look. Now, some people may be upset at the fact that Last of Us is getting a sequel. I don't understand why. But look, this is Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog wouldn't make a shit game and just cram out a fucking sequel for nothing. I'm sure that if you give them full trust on this project, Naughty Dog's going to do a killer-ass job on The Last of Us Part 2. And I honestly cannot wait. And the hype is through the roof. But I would love to hear what you guys have to think in the comment section below. Do you guys think that these DLCs are going to be great? I mean, that's kind of a hypothetical question or rhetorical question. Or do you think they're going to be complete shit? I'm just going to throw that out there, leave it unopen-ended. I personally think they're going to be great, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on the characters, your thoughts on the story, where it's going. And as always, if you guys enjoy these kind of videos, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more videos in the future. I love you guys to death, and goodbye.